The Z Boys were all attitude and confidence, and they were just so badass, and they conquered. And suddenly they made a name for themselves. They made a name for themselves. They made a name for Zephyr. They made a name for skateboarding. They took it to a whole other level. Everyone knew everything was suddenly different. These guys came in and made everything different. They had style. They were surfers on asphalt waves. They were, again, rock stars. You know, they had, I don't know, like a very specific, or like art. It was like art. It was like a whole new art form was born. 6 months later, skateboarding companies started recruiting these guys and gals for their brands to basically compete as their branded, kind of athletes. And the Zephyr crew, as it was kind of a little kind of cool little club, was now breaking up. It was like they were like they were like a band, a band that had like started from nowhere and had a bunch of #1 hits, and suddenly now other bands were recruiting these members to be in their bands. And in 1 year, within a year, the Zephyr store closed. Yeah, it was all like they all got their own little like recording contracts and they left. And a whole new era of skateboarding was coming in hard and fast. The same year, Skateboarding Magazine came back. They were around for a brief time, but again, skateboarding wasn't where it was suddenly. So they had a brief run in the 60s and were gone for many years, and suddenly they were back. The Zephyr Boys brought it back. And their main writer-photographer was Craig Stesick. He was like the Hunter S. Thompson of how he wrote about skateboarding, which was crass but honest, full of attitude, just like the sport. And he photographed the stuff too. And it too was raw and full of energy. And skateboarding, again, wasn't just a sport, right? It was a way of life. It was an attitude. It was a lifestyle. And his images and words were like poetry and art, to really mirror what was happening. He was like kind of like how David Carson, in my opinion, was a perfect mirror as a designer of what surfing and skateboarding was. Craig was that as a photographer and as a writer. Here's some of his work.